just to bring something to you guys' attention. So right now, go to YouTube and type this in, SG3049D space 196. Or you could also search for Volvo B5LH on 196. Either one of them would do. But when I searched Volvo B5LH 196, there were no search results. So let's go with this one instead. I'm not pausing the video or anything, you're seeing this live. So check how many videos there are. So up to this point, it starts to become irrelevant when I find this one really awesome. So if you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of them are by the same content creator. And I'm just gonna say something. If Jared wasn't there, I would have been the only one that even has like a joyride footage of this bus. I wouldn't say joyride, it's more of like front view in this case. Now keep in mind that the debut happened around 2 days ago. I think it was a Wednesday, right? Yeah, it is Wednesday. And then today is Friday. It's been Friday already, and let's say I don't post this video. This person would have been and let's say Jared like had school or something, had something on, CCA, whatever, or just wasn't feeling well. This person would have been the only one to post a video of this bus. So because of stuff like this, again, I'm just learning from history, I have this like innate distrust like with the Singapore bus community in general. And let me explain myself. Okay, I know this is like somewhat not accurate, but imagine this is like the front view of a Volvo B5LH. And usually, when this kind of like rare debut happens, there would be like, let's say, lots of bus fans. They would be standing on like the opposite side of the road, or sometimes if the road divider is like wide enough, they might stand there instead. But there would usually be like a whole gang of them like taking photos of this bus. And these people are the photo takers, they are not the video takers. And then there would be some of them near the bus stop over here. These people are usually the video takers, but they don't upload it to YouTube. They only upload it to like their social media sites like Facebook or okay, I don't have the correct color, but how do you even draw the Instagram logo? I'm quite bad at this, but Instagram. Because nowadays like the trend is that like for these like kinds of short videos, they will either post it like on their profiles or like as a story which expires within like 24 hours or something along those lines. And so essentially this thing becomes the algorithm. And I've talked about this before that not everybody's Facebook profile or Facebook posts are like public. The same goes for like Instagram. So because of that, it is really difficult for the public to access these photos. Again, I'm not saying that they have to post it to YouTube if they don't want to. I'm just saying that most of them, they would be posting it to Facebook or Instagram. And here comes the part whereby I need to be, well, I need to be honest with you. Like, I just need to be like a bit more transparent about my own observations. Not everybody in this kind of group is necessarily bad, but again, based on my own experience, these ones are technically the red flag ones. And what I mean by that is that I've talked about this before. It's like they do something called content farming, be it on YouTube or on Instagram. Either one is fine. But nowadays it has shifted to Instagram. And then I've talked about this before, Instagram Cloud. It's like when you have like a photo album full of like rare cameos, then to them, the more rare cameos that you manage to snap, like they have really high and really strict emphasis on like whether a shot is good or bad. I don't know what their standards are, but like I mean for me, as long as I can see the buzz, I'm happy. But these people they have like really high standards for like their photos. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying. And because of that, the person who has the most number of successful shots and who has the most number of like rare cameos on their accounts, according to like bus fans in general, they tend to be the more respected people, regardless of their like actual attitude or conduct when it comes to like in real life or online. It's just more rare cameo equals you're a better bus fan. That kind of, that kind of thing. And this is where all the cloud starts to happen. So I'm just gonna, okay, maybe I'll erase off this part so that I can describe a little bit more. Uh, so basically, how do people get like the perfect shot? Okay, so there would be another bus fan seated on this seat so that they could see the front. That's for Volvo B5LH because Volvo B5LH only the near side has the front seat, but the off side doesn't have the front seat. It depends on the bus model. If it's an OC500LE, then the so-called enthusiast seat would be at the in Japan they call it otaseki. Okay, so it's like it would be on the off side, the right side of the bus when you're viewing it from the interior. And so what those people do is that these people are not more often than not they are not filmers. And what happens is that okay, I forgot where the bell is. It's probably behind, but I'm just gonna put a bell here. So when there is like a big group of filmers that are on the opposite side of a particular bus stop, they would be the ones that usually press the bell. Okay, so in general, these people, their role is that when there is like a big group when there is a big group of like those how do you call it, the pro photographers or something along those lines, if they are like they happen to be on the opposite side of a bus stop, then these people like one of these at least one of these people okay, so as long as one person is friends with this guy, like at least one person, so in essence this guy would be pressing the bell even if people are not alighting. Okay, that is still fine. Like they would be pressing the bell and then they might probably tell the BC that like, hey, people are snapping along the opposite at the opposite side of the road, so I just pressed the bell, so sorry about that. So to me that is still fine because this guy is helping the entire, even though he's only like friends with at least one person, he's indeed helping the other group to like get the perfect shot. Because ultimately this is just a case of pressing the bell. Accidental presses occur all the time, so this is not even like that bad. Like I'm actually okay with this. And again, the enthusiasts that happen to be sitting here, most of the time, as I've observed, they are not filming. I've only seen like on board the 168 B5LH that somebody was actually on this seat filming. So on that day of the 168 B5LH, I actually stood on the right side because here's the thing. He had the seat before me, so he has priority. I am not gonna kick him off the seat. And the thing is, he is filming as well. Okay, he hasn't really posted the video to like any social media sites because there was an incident, but like I'm just saying, there was a guy seated on this seat that was actually filming, and he came before me. That's why I have no right to kick him off the seat. It's just as simple as that. Now, obviously, some of these people they have gotten like they've gotten insults thrown at them as like control car or something along those lines. In some cases it's justified, in some cases it's not. Like if you're just pressing the bell so that other people on the other side can film, that I don't see anything like wrong with that, especially if like the bus captain is early and he actually kind of needs to like kill time or waste time at the bus stop, and then you press the bell. You just nicely tell the bus captain that hey, there are people snapping the bus, then all is good. So if it's just a mere press of the bell, then I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. But like obviously there are some individuals that I wouldn't name names, but they would actually put all their belongings here. They would actually hog this seat, and then they would alternate between this seat as well as like standing like right next to the driver's cabin. I'm just gonna like roughly draw it like this. I know in Singapore the bus captains don't wear a hat, but like yeah. So how do I say it? This guy would alternate between on the seat and right here chatting with like the bus captain. Okay, if it's just normal chatting with your bus captain friend, that is okay. I don't want anybody to take my words out of context. That is okay. But what I've witnessed on board the 196 debut is that this guy, like when he was here, he was telling the bus captain to, you know, drive slower, drive faster, swerve, turn, go to like drive on a certain lane. Okay, I shouldn't say this. Like, drive on a certain lane so that the people that are friends with him would get the nice shots, and the people that are not friends with him, they would get sabotaged. Like drive faster in this case, or swerve, a turn or whatever. Like you get what I mean. Or drive on another lane. Yeah. And the thing is, these people they have this like really nasty tactic whereby they are nice to you in their demeanor, but their actions speak otherwise. They use this nice demeanor to like get on a higher moral ground than you, so that they get, how do you say, like they try to morally guilt trip you into obeying them simply because they are a quote unquote nice bus enthusiast in real life. But obviously their actions show otherwise. I'm just saying that how they appear like in real life. A lot of people under the age of 20 have come to the defense of people like them simply for being nice, without realizing that what he's doing could potentially endanger the safety of everyone in the bus, including the bus captain. Especially in cases whereby the bus captain is not your bus captain friend, and you're just giving him so-called commands to like distract him. Even if it was your bus captain friend, I would recommend just chatting at when the bus is stationary, like when the bus is stopping, or maybe just one or two words. That's all. Because even when I board my bus captain friend's bus, I just like I just get to the seat and I film, and I don't even bother them. I greet them sometimes not really, but I just bow my head down. I usually don't say it out, I just bow my head down, like as a form of as a gesture, as a form of thank you or anything. That's all. But I genuinely don't disturb them, like when I'm filming the front view. And people who have seen me do that in real life, they've witnessed it before. They know that I don't ever talk to the bus captain friends, to my bus captain friends, or the bus captains in general. At most, I just say thank you to them after the ride. And people have witnessed it before. So one common criticism that I have received from, I mean, yeah, those people, they are still adolescents, they're still teens, they are under the age of 20, and they are not that mature yet in that sense. You get it? But they, for some reason, they try to paint me as like the immature and entitled guy. No, I think all of this just boils down to like a cultural difference between like Singapore and Japan. Because in my mind, I'm like, there is a queue. And when there is a queue, you queue up for the bus. Now, admittedly, like, we all do not lie about this. We all have like cut queues, like, in our lives before, be it bus or anything. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, like, I'm just coming clean to you guys that, like, you know, even I myself have cut queue before. And even when doing so, the most recent one was Boon Lay. So I just like slightly bow and apologize to them, like just explain to them in one or two words that, oh, I need to film, I need the front seat or something along those lines. But again, because I was not in the queue, people could override me. Even though I was nice about it, I do not have priority in this case. People in this context could kick me off the seat, and that would have been completely fine because I did not have priority. Just explaining to you guys as it is. Again, I know they're kids. They have this like kind of oversimplified thinking, and then they would see me as like entitled. But on the day of the oops, on the day of the debut itself, um, there was like at Clementi Interchange, there was a queue. The offender is the one behind me, and I was in front. So this guy wasn't in the queue from the beginning of time. So I was like in the queue. There were people in front of me. There were people behind me. I stepped aside so that these people could board the KUB, which is 8206, and the Citaro, another Citaro in front. So yeah, sorry about that. So the people behind me in the queue, they only arrived like later. I have been waiting here 20 to 30 minutes before the B5LH has departed. Like, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't say, hey, please reserve my spot or anything. No, I just stood there throughout. I literally stood there throughout. And in Japan, the first person in line has maximum priority over which seat that they want to take. I don't know if this is the case for Singapore, but seeing as like there is actually a queue, so I'm like, okay, you just follow the rules in this case. Okay, so as the bus arrived, okay, so this is like the queuing area over here. I exited the queue, and then okay, maybe let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so everybody was like queuing over here. So I was first in line, I exited, and then I went all the way here, and then I allowed people to actually stand here to snap or film the bus because I'm pointing my camera in this direction. They're pointing their cameras at this direction. I just figured out that they would prefer this spot. Like just based on body language, I just assumed that the people they wanted to film the arrival scene from here. So I went all the way outside, like I stood a little bit far back. So this is where I stood. And then the bus, again, it's not the bus driver's fault or anything. I'm just explaining. The bus eventually stopped in front of them and not in front of me. And again, that's fine. You just I'm not gonna say that like the bus has to stop in front of me or anything, because I was like filming the bus arriving. Obviously, I stood a little far back. And yeah, okay, where was I? I stood far back and allowed them to film in front of me. All I need to do is just to raise my phone camera a little bit up so that everybody gets their fair share of the pie, as in like the shot in this case. So by the time the bus like opened its doors, I was like around here, and there were two people. Even though they were behind me, they entered the bus first. I have no issues with that because they are closer to the bus. I just let them jump, like, if, how do I say it? When you board the bus, like let's say this is the bus's interior, the person who is doing a joyride video from the back of the bus, I would usually let them board first so that they could get an unobstructed view of like the interior of the bus, and then they turn around and sit down, obviously, like at the back seats. So I assumed that one of them wanted to do this, so I just let them go inside the bus first. And then the second one was the one who, despite being behind me, decided to just nab the seat for himself. Now here's the thing. If the second person, okay, so it's like, okay, how should I say this? The queue order at the berth was 1, 2, and 3. And then what ended up happening was that I let this guy board first because he wants to film from the back. This guy was the one that cut in front of me. Technically, both of them cut in front of me, but for the blue one, it's that like I know he's filming from the back, so like I'm chill about it. So what ends up happening is the order of who boarded the bus. And I don't know why I'm explaining this like in the form of a mathematical I'm not trying to like give off this kind of nerd vibes or anything. I'm just explaining it. Okay, maybe what ends up happening is that, okay, maybe let's represent it like this. So before anybody actually comes at me, I literally let this guy jump my queue. Again, I don't know if he actually filmed the interior of the bus, but I let this guy jump my queue so that he could actually get an unobstructed view of the interior of the bus. And then obviously this guy behind was the person who cut my queue, even though he was behind me all the time. And I have been waiting at the bus at the berth ever since like 20 to 30 minutes prior, whereby those people they only came later than me. And as I've explained for like in the previous video, what he mentioned was that, oh, I needed to charge my phone, which I found it a little strange because that's not the only seat that has a charger. He was just saying that as a knee-jerk reaction because he didn't want me to give me the seat. And he was like so-called nice about it in this case. But obviously, like as you guys know, what ended up happening was that he began his antics of trying to trying to pester, persuade, disturb the bus captain, trying to tell the bus captain to drive in a certain manner. That was what he ended up doing. And when he wasn't doing that, he wasn't even enjoying the front view or anything. He was just like on his phone, texting people throughout the entire ride. And then, okay, I've already talked about this before, but so the person who took my seat, he's at the front. Not my seat, I mean the person who took the front seat away from me, even though I had priority. So what happened was that I knew this guy wanted to exit. Like his body language just tells it. So I moved in front a little bit so that he can exit from behind me. And then at that point in time, there was like another sorry, there was another person who was like talking to the bus captain, and this guy is 100% innocent. Like, he just happened to be friends with the bus captain. He didn't really tell the bus captain to like drive in a certain manner or anything. He's just like casually chatting with the bus captain. I mean, even bus captains among themselves, when they're not on duty, they do this all the time, and it's fine. So what happened was that this guy exited. I knew, like, based on history, I knew he had cut me off at when I was filming 199 OC50LE before. I knew this guy had history. So I tried to block him and prevent him from going all the way to the front. Like, cause again, I had history with this guy. Not that like I hate this guy or anything, but I had history. So what ends up happening is that this guy shoved in between me and this guy in order to talk to the bus captain. And I don't know Chinese. He was talking in Chinese to them, but if I could assume, it would probably be, hey, can you not set off service that quickly, or can you punk EDS for me? And then obviously he politely declined. Uh, politely declined. And when I saw the okay, you can verify using my footage again. When I saw like the trapeze CMFS, this guy did not have a lot of time from Bedok to off service back to Bedok North Depot. Like, to me, it looked quite tight. I know when you off service to the depot, you don't necessarily have to like follow these timings. They're only a guideline, but you know, it's a good practice to like follow it. I knew it, he already had like very little time left. And then there is this guy who is like just barging in between us, trying to get to this guy, telling him, "Oh, can you fulfill my request?" Again, it wasn't just one request. He throughout the ride he was like telling the bus captain like what to do, what to do, what to do. Like just distracting him from like doing his job. And this wasn't like even the first time that this happened. Previous occurrences when the OC50LEs in Sunli Bus Park were, he has already he has a history of like doing this. It's just that OC50LEs, they have the front right seat. So he would tell the bus captain from the front right seat and not the front left seat. So when he tried to cut in front of me, I have to say something. So I just said, "Can you stop blocking me?" I did not say anything else. I just said, "Can you stop blocking me?" I just raised my voice a little bit. I didn't like shout or scream or anything. I just like told him as it is. Because he's really going too far, like cutting in between me and the other guy who did nothing. So from start to end, going to break down to you what I and what the guy did wrong. Let me start with myself. For me, what I did wrong was that I confronted him. Despite myself having priority. And then, because of the way I was standing inside the bus, you could also say that to be more precise, what happened was that, okay, the control car guy was here, and then I was here. I was like, okay, never mind. I was like putting my phone up here on the panel so that I could film. And I was standing, like I was just leaning next to the front left seat. And then obviously there was like this innocent bus enthusiast here chatting with the BC, so the passengers had to like weave in between us. So technically, I also was a nuisance, like technically. But just explaining why I ended up being a nuisance to people. Or maybe just in general. Like, wasn't gracious to him despite him jumping my queue. What am I saying? Despite him jumping my queue. Okay, well, I was trying to say this, but then I messed up my words. I was trying to say this word. Like, albeit. So yeah. And also, you could label me as selfish. Or like being too confrontational, making a scene. Now, for the other guy, this is something that you just cannot ignore. Another one is getting physical when he tried to shove me and the other person aside because he wants to get in front no matter what. But technically, this exact same thing could apply to me as well when I blocked him from going to the front because I knew what he was about to do. And then at the start of the ride at Clementi, I did try to physically snatch the seat away as well, like as a reaction. But what is worse, him shoving me and another enthusiast, or me getting to the seat which by queue priority I had. Okay, maybe one more thing. I'll add on to myself as well. Shit. There's not enough space, so I'm not. Damn it. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna. You guys get the idea. I'm gonna shift this thing here. Selfish / making a scene. You guys got the idea. And then another one is not understanding the cultural differences when it comes to the queuing culture in Singapore between Singapore and Japan. So yes, count 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, 6, 7. 1, getting physical. 2, and then pardon me, I gotta make this a little smaller again. Blatantly lying about, even though I was truthful in both my own. Okay, what was I about to say? Sorry. Like, from start to end, I've described my own behavior and his behavior truthfully. I never lied about anything. But he lied about needing to use a charger when his phone was clearly already more or less fully charged at that time. I can give him the benefit of the doubt, but even when it was fully charged, he just continued charging. He just wanted to preserve his phone at full battery. It wasn't even like he needed desperately to use the charger. And as I've said, that wasn't the only charger that's like on board a B5LH. And another one is, this is technically not endangering BC, but to set the EDS in a certain manner. 4. Okay, I know it's a little small, but I'm breaking down every single time both of us have done wrong things, be it minor or major. The severity of like these things, I'll leave it to you guys to decide. I'm just being honest and truthful to you, my audience, about like what happened. Okay, never mind. I need to zoom out a little bit so that you guys can see. You guys go and screenshot this, please. Again, I'm not trying to victimize myself. I'm already being super strict with myself regarding what I could have done wrong. And I think the most severe one that I have done wrong, albeit it was a reaction to him taking the seat, taking away the seat from me, was that I was technically standing in a manner that technically blocked passengers. So this was my most major. This was the thing that I've done wrong the most. I'm not gonna comment about what he has done wrong the most, but for me it would be blocked Pax from entering the bus, like from the front door. And when it comes to like the history between me and this guy, so I'll erase everything. Let's start on a clean page. Not really clean page, not really a clean page, but you get the idea. So, because I need to like tell you guys every single thing that happened. So, okay, I'm here, and then this was on board. It was quite some time ago. I think it was like 199 or something. I do not remember if he was like actually sitting at the frontmost seat on the right hand side, like the off side of the bus. I do not remember that, but or maybe he boarded like okay, he could have boarded at like NTU, in like inside NTU. I think it was like he boarded at NTU. So what happened was that the bus was crowded. Okay, it wasn't really that crowded or anything, but everybody just exited. Um, Wait, I remember. I remember now. I was sitting down. Okay, sorry about that. I was sitting down. So you know OC50LEs, there is like the door area over here, right? I'm just gonna, okay, like this. There's a door area, right? So, and then I was seated like just behind the left, at the near side, just behind the door of the OC50LE. I was filming, like my phone camera was there. I was like filming. And then what happened was that at one of the stops, he boarded the bus, and then he just stood here. So naturally, I saw this guy blocking me. I went up to the front and I filmed. Again, just a reaction from me. I got a bit pissed off at that time because this guy was clearly blocking me. And then, what again? I'm just describing history. Like, even though, like, the bus captain opened the door, like you're not supposed to even stand here when it comes to an OC50LE. Unless it's like on the expressway sector and you have no choice because the bus is crowded. But the bus wasn't even, there was like ample space over here. And then obviously during this time there was like another bus enthusiast talking to the bus captain as well. But he did nothing wrong. He's also 100% innocent in this case. I'm not saying everybody who stands here is 100% innocent, but I'm just saying the guy did nothing wrong. And passengers just enter the bus in between them and myself when I went up to the front to record. So even when the door opened and closed, the door was like almost about to like hit him, and he just stood there. I don't understand. He never even like, he only moved in after the door hit him like several times. But yeah, I at that time I never really understood like that behavior from him. But anyways, I'm just describing to you guys like why I had history. Like I just sort of like recognized this guy. It was like the exact same guy. So just to clarify, before he boarded the bus, I was seated. Only when this guy tried to block me did I go in front and record. But not at the doors. I stood like next to the pole like this, if I'm not mistaken. You can you can check my 199 OC50LE front view footage. I think I might have captured it. It's in my playlist. And the last thing I want to talk about is when it comes to like entitlement. Like, what exactly is entitlement? Okay, I'll just break it down to you in simple words. I own the seat. Because this is one common criticism that I have received from the kids. I have never claimed that I own the seats. In reality, the further up you are in the queue, you have increased priority to choose the seat. For Japan, again, I don't know about Singapore's queue culture. I have seen people jumping queue. Even I myself, like when I was a lot younger, I jumped queue before. But like, you see, the weird thing is that like when I actually try to follow the rules, I get screwed by people. People break the rules and then they get away scot-free. So this is one thing that I just don't understand. When I actually try to follow the rules, when I actually try to be considerate to other people, I even let that one person cut my queue because I know he was like gonna film from the back of the bus. Despite me compromising like many times, everybody is still going to say that, oh, I'm entitled and I think I own the seat. Despite me having priority at that instant, not for every single case, but at that instant. And that the other person, the car control guy, should have had an equal chance of being able to enjoy the front views from the seat as well. Here's the thing, if he was actually enjoying the front view, I would have been in the wrong because the queue is non-existent in Singapore, and then and that I would have to like give way to. Okay, despite me having scoliosis, 38 degrees, the way I filmed the B5LH, it was really painful standing up there and having to lean, twist my body in a certain way so that I could still film properly. But again, that's not really like an excuse or anything. I'm just explaining. Equal chance so that I should give way to people who actually want the seat and not hog it every time. Yeah, you could come at me in when it comes as in like you could argue that like, hey, I technically shouldn't be queuing for the front seat all the time and I should give other YouTubers, especially when they want to film as well, an equal chance. But as I've explained, I've done that before. I have let I have allowed another, not really allowed, that's such an unfriendly word. I actually let people I film from like the man 822 Euro 5. I put my phone at the side and then another enthusiast shares the seat with me, or maybe if it's like a Citaro where the seat is like only for one person, and then another person, I think with an iPad or something, with an iPad, I allowed him to stand beside me and record. So yeah, like both of us, we just recorded peacefully. So if you want to come at me using equal chance, I have given, not because it's like, oh, I'm a public figure and I need to like be nice. I'm not saying that. I myself made the conscious decision to let them share the front view panel with me. That's what I would usually do. Even if I had priority, I would still let people do it. And if there is another enthusiast that is already on the seat, regardless of whether he's filming or not, as long as I boarded the bus later than him, I would have no priority. And when I mean later, I mean there was no queue. If there was a queue, it depends on who is the first in line and who is the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth in line. Again, maybe I just don't understand Singapore's queuing culture. So yeah, you guys could tell me more about that in the comment section. And okay, another thing is that most of the filmers in Singapore, they film from the back of the bus. So they would criticize me for like, why do you desperately need the front view? They would be coming at me with this kind of thing. So to explain myself, now I come from Japan. People there have like this thing called just gonna write it out for you. So, oh sorry, there is this as well. Oops. This loosely translates to portrait rights, which means without consent of the other person, technically, I'm not supposed to be filming other people and posting it online. So this is what, again, this rule varies in terms of like strictness, but because of my own background, I am more careful when it comes to like portrait rights in this case. If I film, oh my gosh, if I film from the back of the bus like this, every single person at the front of the bus would be exposed. Now, this is not an issue if they're back facing, but with so many people on board the bus, it's 196 anyway. Every single person would have been captured technically without consent. I know that Singaporeans, they tend to be more not so particular about this portrait rights thing because they know that, oh, we're bus enthusiasts, we just film the bus. And usually when those people film their joy rides, it's usually not the full trip. I mean, there are some people who actually filmed the full trip before, but and then they just like sit somewhere along here and then they film like, like Maxon, half window and half interior of the bus. But even the interior of the bus, you would still expose your faces. So one genuine reason why I prefer filming from the front is because number one, the front scenery changes. It's not like I'm perpetually filming the interior of the bus. Sometimes I do show you guys the B5LH's the what you will call that, the okay, how should I say it? Like this, and then there are numbers over here. It's like, this scrolly thing, and then there is like arrive, next, bus stopping, scrolly thing. I actually film that sometimes. Like I just alternate a little bit. But the reason why I film from the front is that the front scenery always changes. And I'm on a bus, so people know that I'm on a bus. I'm not like riding on another vehicle, or they know I'm on a bus. And there is enough evidence to prove that I am on a particular bus. But I want the scenery to change. And filming from the front also means that I would have there would be less chances of me accidentally capturing people's faces. That is why, like, when you see like enthusiasts, some of them are like a bit particular. So when I see enthusiasts, obviously during the 196, it wasn't possible because the guy hogged the seat, and I had difficulty like I was already standing in a really awkward position. I had difficulty shifting the camera. So yeah, I would like tilt my camera like this if there are people on this side, or tilt my camera like this. Sorry. If there are people along here, I would tilt my camera facing this side. If there are like bus fans here, I would tilt my camera facing this side. I just do it more for bus fans because I know they are like a lot more particular when it comes to like their online presence. They don't want their faces exposed. So I do this for them. And then if you guys are curious as to why, like when I'm at the bus stop and then there are people boarding, I put my phone down. Again, portrait rights. I don't want to capture people's face. My video is about the bus, not the people. I just want the bus ride. So I put it down, and then when there are no more people boarding, I just put it up, pull it back up. Like, obviously sometimes it like doesn't work, but as long as people know that I'm not intentionally trying to like show their faces, it's all good, But I'm just doing this as a good practice. So because I'm seated at the front seat, I expose less people faces. Sometimes, okay, there's no choice. They just happen to be there. It's out of my control. So I'm sorry if that happens, but there is a genuine reason why. And the other reason why, and another thing that I'm like legit trying to understand is that like, hey, I can take criticism. I'm not like you kids. I can take it. And when I put myself like online publicly, I would receive them. But I'm trying to understand what you guys are referring to. When people call me entitled, what exactly are they referring to? Is it the fact that like they think I own these seat, that I own the front seat, which I have already clarified. I've already talked about the queue priority and tried to like understand the differences between Singapore and Japan's queuing culture. I do know that like at some interchanges there are priority seats and then there are the queues, and then the people at the priority seats technically have priority over people in the queue. Like let's say that elderly are sitting in the priority seats at the bus interchange. You know the metal ones with that blue sticker. Technically these people have priority as well. But honestly, most of the time people don't really follow it. I'm aware of that. But again, like with all the criticism that is fair that's directed against me, I want to tell you guys something. It has been 2 days ever since the debut. Besides me and Jared's videos, there is only one other person who posted it as a shorts. Without my video, there would have been, okay, I think some people, they're just saving it for their backlog or anything, but without me, nobody would know that this cameo existed. Only the bus fans would, like some of the people who have like limited access to like all those cameo spotting groups and everything, they wouldn't know about this. And the thing is, I, unlike most content creators, I let you guys take my video for free. I don't even ask for credit, like I just let you guys take it for free. You want to use it, just you don't have to ask for permission from me. For other people, you have to ask it. But for me, I just let you guys take it. Any part of the right, any part of my video that you want, okay, like especially for these rare cameos, I let you guys take it. I've recorded Volvo B5LH on 5 before. I let you guys take it for free. Because I know, based on history and everything, observing bus fans' behavior, I know that like I just don't trust people when it comes to documentation of buses. I document the full ride so that it's not because it's like, oh, I want to prove to other people why I'm the superior bus fan or anything. Even though technically when it comes to like memorizing bus routes, yes, objectively speaking, I am the superior bus fan. But when it comes to all these cameo documentation, it's more of like along the lines of like, I don't trust people when it comes to documenting them. It's like they would just snap the bus. They wouldn't film the bus. I have seen it happening with my own eyes. Like there can be a bus captain that literally rigs a 255 OC50 LE and none of you would actually post it online. You guys choose to gatekeep it in your own private Facebook or Instagram accounts. For cloud, for content, for private content farming, for whatever, I don't know. I know you guys' history. Like, I know how you guys behave. Because of that, I'm like, I need to make one copy that is accessible to the public so that they can enjoy the cameo. Not enjoy me as a content creator, but enjoy the cameo, enjoy the bus that I am filming. So I give them the full ride. I want to make sure that with every rare cameo, so-called rare cameo that I could catch, I want to give my viewers the full experience. That is my priority. That is my purpose of even doing YouTube in the first place. Yes, obviously there is like all this kind of like views or content farming that inevitably comes with it. Every YouTuber would experience this, but my main purpose is to tell people this cameo existed and to provide people with a source of like watching. Like when you take the bus, you feel like as if you are on board the bus. I let you guys see the front scenery from start to end. For people who are unable to experience the cameos, um, because they have something on, they're unable to catch it for themselves. At least they have something to watch. not just 8 minutes worth of content because YouTube prioritizes like the shorter videos, the bite-sized videos, but I want to give you guys the full experience. And then I have fucking people calling me selfish that, oh, I hog all the views. I want this because I want my channel to grow. And then, no, my main purpose is so that you guys have adequate public access to the cameo that most people gatekeep and hide. That's the reason why I have been telling people, put your stuff at public domain, don't hide it, so that more people can access it and know that this cameo existed. You can manipulate photos, but you can never manipulate videos, no matter how pro you are. You can never. I don't know about AI, but like, yeah. Sorry for that passionate rant, but some things just have to be said. So I don't get why people are calling me entitled or selfish when I literally make my fucking content accessible to everyone that has an internet connection. And even if you're going to an area without internet connection, I let you guys save my videos, save my thumbnails, save everything for yourselves so that you can enjoy them offline as well. I give you my content for free. And no matter how many times I play by the rules, no matter how many times I compromise so that other people can get their fair share of like video as well, like when they're actually filming, not using their fucking phone 95% of the time on the front seat, I get called a whiny whiner, I get called entitled, I get called all these things. People try to paint me in a bad light. Again, I know that's the cost of being a public figure, but it's like, guys, like, what the hell? And objectively speaking, okay, I'm sorry, I calm down now. Wait, Mom, are you okay? Okay, sorry. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Okay, and because I have this innate distrust for the community when it comes to like video documentation, I know why am I whining so much about video versus photo. It's because a lot of people, they don't post it to public domain, they just gatekeep stuff for themselves, and I want people to like not do that so often. So that's why I make it publicly accessible to everyone. So please don't blame me in the future if I start getting a little bit inconsiderate when I'm, even if I'm first in line, if I start like going to the front door of the bus a little bit earlier. I mean, the reason why I stood a little bit behind is because I know those people wanted to film the arrival scene at the bus arriving to the berth. I didn't want to like cut into their video. But after today's incident, if I see the same person in real life again, I'm just gonna get my friend, so me in front, my friend behind, and I'll actually make sure that those people behind me don't actually end up cutting the queue. Hey, I don't want to go to this extent, but given how these people are, I might have to resort to doing that so that I actually get to board the bus first in the first place. I've already explained to you guys why I might have to resort to doing this. So don't blame me. You guys asked for it. And the more you come at me, the more I'm just going to explain myself, explain my side of the story, the more I'm just going to give you an unbiased recount of the story that may or may not implicate you guys and just shed light on the Singapore bus community's toxic behaviors. You really want to go to that stage? I will. I can compromise. Like, I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm the king, I can compromise whenever I feel like it. I'm just saying it's like I can compromise for you guys. If you guys want to treat me like shit, I'm gonna treat you guys like okay, not that I will actually do it, but like you get the logic, right? This is why I don't know if I ever want to film like the rare cameos anymore, the quote unquote rare cameos anymore, because you guys are just gonna do this to people.